Hello and welcome to the second article in my series about Umbraco and Docker. This one is part 2, the second difficult album. And here I really expand on what the first article touched on, so it goes into a bit more detail about Docker storage, the different types of storage available to you, and then touches on Docker volumes, which are the one that we use and are most commonly used with Docker. We look at networks and how you map ports and how you connect networks together and how they work, and also touches on host networks, which are a different kind of network inside Docker. With both these, there are more available than I go into. I'm just kind of looking to give the reader a basic introduction to kind of learn enough to be able to play around with Docker and feel comfortable playing around with Docker. The last part is looking at Docker files and the Docker Compose tools. Docker files are basically what we use to kind of define what our container images will be. So we'll have one file for our database container, one for our website containers, and then Docker Compose lets us tie our application together into a single application. So I'm going to get rid of my previous instances and just remove everything that was previously running. And I'm going to go to VS Code, where I have this is built on the previous article, so you need to have kind of completed the previous article steps to kind of get to the point where you can run this article, run the codes from this article and kind of get this Docker application up and running. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this Docker Compose file from the root, the files folder, and then move it just to the root of the application. And if we look at what's inside this file, it's got the database services defined, and the pointing to the Docker file for the database services. Defines the ports, the data volumes, and the networks that this will be using. And also defines there are two websites that define. So website 1, which is going to be on port 5080, and website 2, which is going to be on port 5081, and then both internally will be listening on port 80. And then it also relies on this production environment, which means that we can have a separate app settings, which will allow us to have custom settings for production versus staging environments versus development environments. So hopefully our application has gone. Yep, no, ignore that, don't worry. So I've got no containers running right now, so I can just come here, clear this, and I can type in Docker Compose up space -d. -d will run this in a detached mode. So I should, in my Docker desktop application, I should see I've got Docker plus I've got my database container and two websites running on 5080 and 5081. And if I come to here, I can go to 5080 and 5081, and I should see the same website running on both ports. And then to illustrate that they are both connected to the same database, if I go to Umbraco and log into the back end, skip the tour, in Docker, I'm just going to change the title, save and publish that. That will then route through to here, and both my it takes a second sometimes. Save, publish. There we go. Right. Oh, let's get worried there for a second. So yeah, both 5080 and 5081 now have updated their content from the same central database. That is the end of the talk. If there's any questions, please feel free to reach out. If anyone has any additional things they'd like to try, but yeah, I'd encourage you to have a go. All the code is up on GitHub. It will link through from the article. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to speaking to you sometime soon. Thanks. Bye.